Welcome on into the Stroke Limit Reach podcast. I'm your host, Nick, here with my co-host, Mike. And we've got Josh back on, so you know what that means. It's college football time, and it's SEC time. And I have been looking forward to this episode for a while, and I know everyone has as well. We are going to reveal our projections for the SEC. So we're going to give you first our top five, and then we'll open it up for debate, and we'll rotate around the table here. So I'll start off, then Mike, then Josh. We'll do that all the way until we've went through all the teams. We're going to give you our projected record for each team, as well as their projected SEC record. So this is going to be really exciting. We're officially like 20 days away from college football, even sooner if you're counting week 0. So without further ado, do you guys want me to start?
Yeah.
Go for it, dude.
Mike, I'm just looking at him, and he just looks confrontational. We haven't even started yet. Okay. The SEC champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, at 12-1, 8-1 in the conference. The reason they have 9 is because I'm counting the championship game.
I didn't do that.
Yep.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm just saying. Second, I have Texas at 11-2, 7-2 in the conference with a loss to Georgia in the SEC championship game. I then have Missouri, 10-2, 6-2 in the conference. LSU, 10-2, 6-2 in the conference. And Ole Miss, 10-2, 6-2 in the conference. That is my top 5. Personally, I think Georgia is head and shoulders better than every team. I still think there is that separation. I think their offense is actually going to be the best part of their team this year and not their defense. Texas worries me. They are who I'm most worried about in this top 5, especially with their quarterback. Their quarterback not being able to complete a full season yet, starting running back out for the season. So there's a question mark next to Texas, and I'm hoping that they can answer the bell when it comes to the attrition that they're going to incur throughout the season in the SEC. They're not really going to have any off weeks. Every week you're playing an SEC team. And it really scares me that I only give them one loss, and that's to Georgia, because right now Oklahoma is like their nemesis in the Red River Shootout, which is scary to me, because if they slip up and lose that game, that's probably going to put somebody like Missouri or somebody behind them in it. Missouri with a very easy schedule, even though it's very easy. I give them 2 losses. There's, in my opinion, they're going to lose to Bama. It's just too much for them. And I think they slip up to somebody, whether it's whoever. I mean, it's the SEC. You're going to fuck up and lose to somebody. If we want to debate that, I can pull up their schedule. But LSU, I think, is much better than everyone thinks. The thing about LSU this season is a lot of their tough games is at home. And a lot of these tough games you'd have to think is going to be a night game, because it's going to be a highly ranked game. Both teams are not going to have that many losses. And it's just so hard for me to mark a loss against LSU when they play at home in Death Valley. Ole Miss, this is probably the best Ole Miss team, in my opinion, that they've ever had in the modern college football era. But their schedule's not easy. They still play Georgia. They still play, pretty sure, Alabama. I'd have to pull up their schedule and confirm that. So that is why I have 2 losses to Ole Miss. I'll open it up now. What do you guys think?
So I just want to start off with I'm a little retarded. Just say the teams that you had for 3, 4, and 5 again.
3, 4. Okay, that's fine, because I'm sure we all have pretty close. But it's
I don't need the records, just the teams.
Missouri,
Okay.
LSU, Ole Miss.
At 3,
That's
4, 5?
descending order.
Okay.
Yeah. So any thoughts on those first?
No Bama in your top 5.
No Bama in my top 5. I think there are some other teams that will finish 6-2, and the losses that Bama would receive, I think, would put them behind those teams.
Okay. I mean, well, my top 5 compared to yours is different, just by one team. Record-wise, you saw me scratch my head over here. For the top 5, I was freaking out because I have my top 4 guys all at 11-1 on the year, with one loss each. And they don't have a lot of parity in schedule. I have Georgia at 11-1, and I have them with a loss at potentially Bama, at Bama.
So are we not debating mine, or are you going right into yours?
Like,
Josh, you have any thoughts on
I have
mine?
no problem with yours because it's close
yours
to mine.
sounds fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that we're all going to agree on the top. I think it's
I don't have LSU in there.
I think it's
Yeah,
6
do I.
through the bottom 16 is going to be where we have a lot of different teams, different spots. But
Yeah.
I know Mike and I were talking about this off air. This is not me being an SEC homer. I just think that there's a handful of really good teams in the SEC, and then there's some teams that are going to benefit from a softer schedule and got lucky, and they have a decent team. And there's going to be a lot of teams in the SEC fighting for a playoff spot, and I think it's going to make it very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the top of the teams in the SEC, the non-conference games aren't the most challenging. Like they're not playing teams that I think can compete with them. Not necessarily that they're not harder games, but they don't compete, right? So
I mean,
like,
but your top two have probably two of the hardest out-of-conference games in the country.
yeah, like Georgia with Clemson at the neutral site. It's a harder game,
Yeah.
but I don't think Clemson can step with Georgia.
No, but I don't.
So-
I think that's more of a compliment to Georgia than it is to.
And that's what I'm saying.
Scheduling.
Like the teams that they do play, like they can't compete with them because these teams are on a level above the rest.
Now,
And
Texas, that's a tough game. Like, I don't know how I feel about that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really scary game if you're a Texas fan.
but like so, what you'll see
When it
on
comes to
mine,
Michigan is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
For the out-of-conference.
what you'll see on mine is like I have a ton of teams that they only have one or two losses and they're only in the SEC for the losses because they're beating each other up. But at the same time, these top teams don't necessarily play all of the other top teams. They'll play like one or two of guys, and so I have a lot of splits over here, and it makes it very difficult for me to like judge who's to who, especially with how we were talking offline. I don't know if you talked about here. There's no tiebreaker yet.
Yeah, there's no tiebreaker agreement yet, which is kind of crazy. Now that we're less than 20 days to the season, or I mean, SEC play, we're 23 days away. So it is kind of crazy because it's going to piss some teams off if they drop this down at the end of the season because they could realistically kind of be bullshit because they can kind of pick who they want.
Yeah, they could be favored towards someone.
Yeah.
But like the only thing I disagree with yours is LSU. I don't have them out the top five, but they're not far out of it. I have them with 3 losses in the SEC.
Yeah, which I'm
And
sure.
it's just to me that doesn't crack a top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I have 8 teams. My ninth team is the first team that doesn't have 3 losses, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But
How do you feel about the list, Josh?
It sounds fine. Pretty similar. I like Alabama up there as well.
Yeah, I personally also have Alabama in there. Do you want to jump into
Yeah.
my 5?
yeah, go for it.
So I have Georgia at 1. I have them 11-1 on the year, 7-1 in SEC play with a loss to Alabama. I have Texas number 2 also at 11-1, 7-1 in the conference, and they have a loss versus Georgia, so they have to be behind Georgia. Alabama at 11-1, 7-1 in the conference. I have them with a loss at LSU. Missouri 11-1, 7-1 in the conference. They have a loss at Alabama. So, and then my number 5 is Ole Miss, 10-2 on the year, 6-2 in the conference, dropping games to LSU and Georgia.
So the only difference is you replaced LSU with Alabama.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
much.
which is why I don't really disagree with what you have, but I'm just struggling because I have so many just one-loss teams that I think are going to dominate the majority of their schedule, except for like one of these other top guys.
now my only thing with Alabama is, I mean, I could be dead fucking wrong, but I don't see this team coming out of this schedule with 1 loss. I think there's teams on here, and they've got 2 huge away games on my standings that are going to be really good teams in the conference I'm talking about. Wisconsin, they're going to steamroll, in my opinion. But, yeah, so 11-1 would be the fucking best case scenario for Alabama in my season. Like, they
It's their ceiling.
probably would make the playoff. Like, I think they would jump
They
Texas.
definitely would.
I mean, not
They
playoff. I'm sorry. They would probably make the SEC championship. Like, I don't know if they'd put Texas in there. I don't know how the tiebreaker's going to go, but their 1 loss would be to the team that's in the championship, which Texas could have the same situation. But
Well, I had Alabama beating Georgia,
he had-
beating Georgia, but then losing to LSU.
oh,
who
then
I don't even have in the top
100%
five.
Alabama would be in. Yeah.
You think Alabama would be in even with the
Yes.
loss to LSU?
If they beat Georgia, who's already in the championship in your thing, I don't know what the tiebreaker's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be like, oh, yeah, they have the best loss. So, we'll see. Josh, any thoughts, or you want to roll into yours?
No, I mean, it sounds fine. I mean, Alabama 11-1. I feel like I could see it. That's probably their ceiling, but
Yeah, I agree.
at the end of the
Ceiling
day,
for sure.
it is Alabama. So you never know.
I just think when it comes to Alabama, I'll talk about it when I get down my list, but I just think that you are going to see a step back in big games without Saban on the sideline. It's the same players, but I mean, Alabama had a lot of close games last year, and there's some road games that I don't know they can win, and I think Milroe is not going to be composed enough on the road to do that. I mean, the Auburn game was a prime example, but
I mean, my thing with it is that team still has all the talent in the fucking world. And it's not like they did get a coach that's not shown out. Like, this coach just brought Washington and Natty. Granted, they got beat down from the huge talent gap that's between Georgia and Washington, but he still took that team to the Natty. And it's the only games on Alabama's schedule that scare me that I could see going either way is home against Georgia, which I'm going to give Alabama the advantage to because it's going to be Georgia's
see,
first like big tester to me.
It is
and
gonna be-
it is at Tuscaloosa.
it is going to be Georgia's big test, but I think this is a Georgia team that at this point is going to have beat Clemson by 20 plus points, and they're going to roll in and not be scared at all to play Alabama. And I think Alabama is going to be more worried playing about Georgia.
But if it was at Clemson, like in that hostile environment, I'd feel better about it. But like, I'm also not as big on Clemson as you probably are. I think they're taking a pretty significant step down, and I just don't feel good about the team. Outside of their defense, I like their defense. I don't feel good about their offense. I think it got worse.
Now, the one thing that Alabama has, they have a bye week before that game, which is huge. But I just think Carson Beck's not going to be rattled at all, and Georgia's defense is going to absolutely lock down Jalen Milroe, in my opinion. But we'll see.
But even if Alabama loses that game, I don't see them losing at Tennessee. And if they already have a loss, I don't see them losing at LSU. And I think those are the three games on the schedule that are quote-unquote scary for Alabama.
If I had to give you like a ranking of those three games that I'm worried, number one would be LSU, number two would be Georgia, number three would be Tennessee. And the reason that being saying, Alabama lost on the road to LSU last time, and that was with a really good football team. And LSU, that's one of the hardest places to play. And I just, as an Auburn fan too, it's play there on the road all the time. We've won one time in 20 years. I'd love to see Alabama's record there because I'm sure it's not good.
LSU's a hard place to play. That's why I have that as their one loss. I think after they beat Georgia, they're going to be so fucking high on themselves. They're going to be on top of the world. They have a close one to Tennessee. They still think they're on top of the world. And then, like, at LSU, they're going to be too hyped up on themselves, and they're going to drop the game to a team that I don't think LSU can compete with them talent-wise. But I do think with LSU being home, Alabama being too big on themselves, they're going to fuck up, and they're going to drop it.
So we'll go into Josh's, and I'll talk about Alabama for my next teams. But, Josh, go ahead.
So we have the Georgia Bulldogs going 12-0.
Jesus Christ.
I just don't. I had to put it out there. Okay, I don't think we're going to lose a game. I have Texas at 11-1.
last year
Obviously,
games,
one
right?
loss to us. Yeah, I mean we've been 12-0 for the past 2 years. So it should be fine. I actually have Ole Miss going 11-1. Their only loss to Georgia. I just think Ole Miss is going to be even better than last year, so I don't see them losing really many times. Alabama at 10-2. I actually have Alabama as one of their losses to Auburn.
I think it's a
some
high
reason.
possibility. I'm telling you. I'm
For
telling
some
you.
reason.
Auburn keeps it close when they go on the road to Alabama. They get fucked up when they play Georgia on the road. But I just think in
don't
this
think it's happening
matchup,
this year.
I don't think it is either. But I think in this matchup, I like our coach's scheming against Alabama more than I like Alabama scheming against Auburn. Because personally, I think DeBoer, first year in a huge rivalry against like Auburn, he's going to probably be like, we're better in every position, which is true. But if you come with that mindset, I think it's really going to fuck you over. So
I think it'll be a battle, but
it's going to be a lot
I think
closer.
it's a year too soon for Auburn to come on top.
Well, if it's at home, I'm telling you right now we're winning. But on the road, no, I don't know.
And that's what I'm putting into factor as well. I think you're a year away. I think I love the way that Auburn's going, the direction you guys are going for a rebuild. We've discussed it. I don't believe in Peyton Thorne to be able to beat some of these top teams.
So, Josh, you had them. What did you have? Alabama scheduled 10-2.
Yeah, I had them at 10-2,
okay.
and then my last team on
go
there
ahead.
would just be Missouri at 10-2 as well.
Now, let's talk about Ole Miss for a minute. You have Ole Miss 11-1. Mike, did you have them 10-2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you obviously, Josh, have Ole Miss beating LSU on the road.
Yep.
So here's my rebuttal to that. It's possible, but I don't think Lane Kiffin has showed anyone yet that he can win a big road game. He has not won a big road game. So that's what scares me about that because, in my opinion, LSU could be winless, and that is going to be a huge game at Death Valley with Ole Miss, who's probably undefeated at that point. They don't play anybody up to that point. I mean, I'd have to look at LSU's schedule to see how they fall. That's probably going to be a primetime night game because LSU plays USC, who I think they beat Nichols, South Carolina, UCLA, South Alabama. So it could be an undefeated matchup. So that really scares me as an Ole Miss fan. I'd rather this be like a 3-loss LSU team at the end of the season. But we'll see. I don't think anyone's crazy with their rankings. I think we were all going to have close to the same at the top. And I think this second section is going to be where we get all over the place. So that was 1 through 5. Let's all repeat it real quick. I have Georgia, Texas, Missouri, LSU, Ole Miss. Mike has
Georgia, Texas, Bama, Missouri, Ole Miss.
Okay, so Bama in for LSU. Josh, go ahead.
And I have Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Missouri.
Okay,
So me and him have the same team,
which is
just different
flipped.
order.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I just moved around.
All right. So now let's go 6 through 10, right? Here we go. Number 6, the last 2 loss on my board here, SEC schedule. 3 losses total, and this is Tennessee. I have Tennessee 9-3 with 6-2 in the conference. I then have my 7th team, Alabama, 9-3, 5-3 in the SEC. I do think they take the step down. I do think that there's enough tough games on their schedule, and I really don't trust Milroe at all. Go ahead.
What's your third loss for them then? Because you already say it's not.
They lose to Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
all 3 of the games I
All
talked
3.
about earlier.
Yep. They lose Georgia because it's Georgia. I don't think Milroe can play on the road, so he loses to Tennessee and LSU. But a lot of people don't realize Tennessee probably has a top 3 defense in the SEC this year, which is fucking
They
wild
have
to
the
think
best
about.
edge rusher in college
Yeah.
football right now, potentially.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a Tennessee team that usually has to score 50 points to win big games. That's why I'm so high on them this year. Because now you take this freshman quarterback, or is he a redshirt freshman or is he a sophomore?
I don't
be
know what he's
probably a
classified as.
redshirt
I think he got
Probably a
redshirt freshman.
redshirt because he only played
I think
in
he only
game.
played the bowl game.
Yeah. So redshirt freshman, 1 game of experience, all the talent in the world, huge upside. I think with him having a defense where he doesn't have to go out there and be Hendon Hooker and win this game 55-53, that they can sneak out a win by containing Milroe and making him throw the ball a lot and maybe sneak out like a 28-24. So I don't think this is going to be the Alabama offense where they're scoring 50 points a game. I don't trust Milroe. I mean, you watch what Auburn did to them last year, and that I just can't get that out of my head. Like, all we did was bring 5 every play and keep him in the pocket, and he has 1 Hail Mary. Dude has a terrible stat line, and then he's out there yelling, "Give me the fucking Heisman" after the game. I'm like, bro, you almost just lost to a 6-win football team, and you're yelling, "Give me the Heisman." So, yeah, I don't trust him at all. I said that all of last year. I can't believe he's in the race for Heisman, and I also can't believe that he's highly touted for the NFL. Like, this is going to be the biggest fucking bust ever if somebody takes this guy in the round one, in my opinion. But just how stupid the NFL's getting. So that's 7. 8, I'm going to say it, Auburn. I think, and this is, I'll give you my logic here. Auburn starts off the season 5-0, in my opinion. I think Oklahoma, with having the Tennessee game a week before they play Auburn, in a game that's going to be so fucking microscoped because it's the return of Josh Heupel, the chosen boy, one of Oklahoma's best quarterbacks, coming back to Oklahoma, bringing a good Tennessee team. I think Oklahoma is going to prepare for that game so much that they could not have scheduled Auburn in a worse spot, especially for their road game in Auburn, first SEC road game. So I do think Auburn wins that game. They obviously get beat down the next week. I don't think Auburn, I talk about Auburn having a chance against Alabama. I think there is a huge difference playing at Alabama with Alabama's defense compared to Peyton Thorne having to play between the hedges, which is like Auburn's new Death Valley. They just can't seem to win there for the last 10 years at least. So I have them losing that game. Auburn has a bye week. This is another weird spot because Tennessee, not Tennessee, Missouri. Let me pull up their schedule. Pretty sure.
Who, Missouri's?
I'm pulling it up right now. So when you look at Missouri's schedule, you get Texas A&M, then UMass, then Missouri. I think when you have Auburn giving
Texas
you
A&M,
free...
UMass, and Auburn.
Huh?
You said Missouri instead of Auburn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Texas A&M, UMass, Auburn. Said that right that time? Okay. And anyway, I think when you give Hugh Freeze, calling the offense, a full week to come up with some magic in a bottle, I think they steal this game. And I think this is one of Missouri's losses. And it sounds crazy, but then I think Auburn loses the next week. I think they put all the lightning in the bottle. They go on the road. They get a huge win for recruiting. No one counts them in this game. They steal a road win against probably an undefeated Missouri after getting fucking smashed by Georgia, then going into the bye week. And I think Auburn comes off of an emotional high to get put back in their place by Kentucky. I then think that Auburn runs the next games. I think they beat a close game in Texas A&M. At home against Texas A&M. Texas A&M has not beat Auburn at home yet since joining the SEC. So until they do it, they're going to have to show me. They couldn't beat Auburn when they had 3 wins with Cadillac Williams as their head coach. So I don't think they get it done here. And I'm high on Texas A&M. But I think Auburn does not beat Alabama. I think it will be closer than the experts say. And that's how they get to the 9-3, 5-3 in the SEC. My number 9 team is 4-4 in the SEC, but 9-3 overall. And that's the team I said I'm pretty high on, Texas A&M. I think they're much better than everyone thinks. I think their defense is still solid. I think their quarterback has some of the best upside in the entire SEC as a younger quarterback. Again, this could be a situation where, in my opinion, I have them 9-3, 4-4 in the conference. Oh, how is that? Wait. I'm sorry. I fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up. Hold on.
8-4.
Yes, I'm sorry. 8-4. So 8-4, 4-4 in the conference. Thanks, Mike. This could be a team. I'm reading it backwards. That could be 9-3 if they beat Auburn. So, but I have Auburn winning that game, and that is why they're there. I have them beating Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. If you're doing the math on how they get that record of 8-4 with 4 losses in the SEC. My number 10 team, my last team, is 3-5 in the SEC, 6-6 overall. It's a team everyone's sleeping on, and everyone's going to get proven that even though their coach is going to get fired after this year, they're going to have a much better year than everyone thinks at the beginning of the season, and that's Florida. I have Florida at 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC. Do you want me to go over Florida? Mike's saying stupid, but I think Florida has nothing to lose. I think Graham Mertz is one of the best quarterback prospects that no one's talking about. And Graham Mertz, can get it done at the beginning of the season. I have, just so everyone knows, we're looking at their schedule before Mike tries to flame me. I have Florida beating Miami. I have Florida beating Samford. I have Florida beating Texas A&M. I have Florida beating Mississippi State. And I have Florida beating UCF to start off the season 5-0. Then they lose to Tennessee, and then they go and they beat Kentucky at home, and they lose from there. That is how I got them to 6-6, 3-5 in the SEC. I don't think that's crazy. I think it's definitely possible, especially with all their games at the beginning of the season that they need to win or at home. They couldn't have pulled a better beginning of the season, but also their end of the season is fucking brutal. I think you put any team in that gauntlet and they're losing 90% of those games. So the fact that they have Miami at home, have Texas A&M at home, have UCF at home, and have Kentucky at home is huge. And I think that's why they win those games, especially because it's the beginning of the season. We see this every year, especially living in Florida. Florida fans are delusional. They think they're going 9-3, 8-4. So when they start, if they rip off a fucking game one win against Miami, who's picked to win the ACC, they're going to think they're on fire. They're going to go in, beat Samford's ass. Then they're going to steal a game against Texas A&M, who is undefeated, just beat Notre Dame. And that's going to get their momentum going until they run into the on-the-road Tennessee game, and then they bounce back, beat Kentucky. So that is why I have Florida at 10, and they're at 10 because they have a head-to-head win against who I will talk about as number 11. So what do you guys think so far? What's the craziest part besides, Josh, you go first because Mike's going to say Florida.
Go back through 6 through 10 just one more time. Just the
so
teams.
6 through 10, Tennessee, Bama, Auburn, TAMU, Florida.
Okay.
I mean, I think if Florida starts out 5-0, there might be earthquakes here in Florida because their fans are going to think they're going to win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they're going to start 5-0. I think they're going to lose.
If they beat
One of
Miami,
those games
I don't
either.
think they beat Texas A&M.
I think if they beat Miami, that's the only way they beat Texas A&M because they're going to be riding such a high. Because Miami is such a better team than
And
Texas
you said they
A&M.
have nothing to lose, but I disagree with that. I think they have literally everything to
How?
lose.
How?
Their
Why?
head coach, if their head coach's job is on the line this season.
That's a team that has nothing to lose. That's what I'm saying. Miami here is going to have to play more defensively than Florida because Miami has everything to lose.
Both teams have everything to lose.
No, Miami's trying to play for the playoffs. Regardless what happens this season, this coach is getting fired for Florida. He's fucked. The back of the season
If he
is
starts
screwed.
out 5-0 and
He's getting fired.
if they can win 6 games, I don't know if he gets fired.
I think he does. I think Florida's fan base is that delusional because they're like, wow, he collapsed at the end of the season after starting off 5-0. So that is why I have that. But go ahead, Josh. You were saying something?
No, it was just, I mean, yeah. I just don't think Florida's going to start 5-0. I think if they do beat Miami, it's going to be kind of like a situation when they beat Utah.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah.
going to be on such a high, but then I think they're going to lose to Texas
But-
A&M because they did it that one year,
My thing is,
like 2 years ago.
like when you look at Florida's roster, it's pretty good. Like that's my whole thing. They just have a really bad schedule. And I think that they have players to win these games, especially with the quarterback position. Their offensive line is getting shit on. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're actually pretty good. They're definitely top half of the SEC. And their defense can't be worse. At the end of the season last year, when they started to figure shit out on defense, they played really good. Minus the fucking game where they just totally overlooked an Arkansas team that was a noon game, and that was their New Mexico State of Auburn. So I think that, and this is not crazy because, Josh, the last 2 years where me and you went and watched Florida versus Georgia, Florida's always ranked and has one loss. So they always start hot, and they always beat somebody at the beginning of the season they're not supposed to. That's why. And it's always at home. It's always at home. Like, people forget, Florida lost to Utah last year, the first game of the season. They did not lose another game until they played Georgia. So that's why I have it. Is there anywhere else on there though, that you guys think I'm crazy? It's the Bama 9-3 crazy, the Tennessee, Auburn.
So only teams that you have different would be your 9 and 10, I believe, that aren't on my list.
You don't have Texas A&M?
Yeah.
I do. Okay, so my
You just
9
have
and
them higher.
10. I don't think you had Tennessee on your list.
No, they're number 6.
Okay, so then literally only
Mike Marotta.
Josh, will you tell Dad to stop fucking calling me?
Oh, is that why that was? You have to decline the call. Okay.
Anyway.
Josh, can you hear us again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only team that I have on here that you either didn't have or didn't already have earlier is number 10, Florida. I don't have them in my 6 or 10.
So, yeah, I think we can agree with most of these teams. I'm sure our difference in record will be in we're talking about, but 6 through 10 is pretty close. Minus, I know I'm much higher on Florida than a lot of people are.
Yeah, and you're lower on Bama than me and Josh are.
Yeah. So, all right, Josh, you go first this time.
All right. So I have the sixth team as LSU. Kind of just switched around from yours. I think they'll be good this year. I think they're just going to lose
You have LSU at
one
9 and 3.
weird. Yeah, I had them as 9 and 3.
Yeah, that's totally
And
reasonable.
Then I have Tennessee at 9 and 3, 6 and 2 in the conference. They're a good team. I just think their quarterback's a little young for them to win 10 games. I think if he has another year or two, they could 10 and 2 or 11 and 1. Then I also have Auburn at 9 and 3. I had them beating Alabama, but I think Auburn's going to be Auburn, and they're going to lose some kind of weird
Fourth
SEC
and
game. I don't know.
33. Oh, you think they're still beating Alabama, but they're gonna drop something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you saying? You said
Yeah.
they're going to lose to somebody they're not supposed to.
Okay.
That's my
Yeah,
Kentucky,
they're going to
in my
lose to
opinion.
some. Yeah, I think they could 100% lose to Kentucky, somebody like that. And then I also have Texas A&M at 8 and 4. So pretty
Okay.
much around the same as yours, Nick.
Okay, so list it off in a row again.
I have
Number
LSU
6.
at 9 and 3,
Okay.
Tennessee at 9 and 3, Auburn at 9 and 3, and Texas A&M at 8 and 4.
You owe us one more
Yeah,
team.
you miss one more team. Number 10.
Number 10.
Oh, well, I have number 10, Oklahoma, 8 and 4,
Okay.
but they're 4 and 4 in the conference.
Okay, so I'm really down on Oklahoma. We'll get to that, but
So me and Josh have the exact same 5 teams, just different order.
okay. So, Mike, go ahead. Hold on. First, before I get into that, I'm sorry. Josh, what is Tennessee's win losses that you're looking at? Because I know I had them at 9 and 3 as well.
Yeah, I also have them at 9 and 3, but I have them 6 and 2 in the conference.
So do I.
So lost to NC State,
Yep.
lost to Oklahoma. No,
Mm.
Bama, Georgia.
No, Bama and Georgia. Yeah, that's who it is. I was going to say, I knew they played
Okay,
somebody
yeah.
else in Georgia.
We're on the same page. Okay. All right. Sweet. Wow, we actually agreed. Mike, go ahead.
So 6 for me, LSU. I have them 9 and 3, 5 and 3 in the conference. 7, Texas A&M, 9 and 3 as well, 5 and 3 in the conference. 8 is Auburn, 8 and 4 overall, 5 and 3 in the conference. Tennessee, 8 and 4, 5 and 3 in the conference. And then the drop off, Oklahoma, 6 and 6, 2 and 6 in the conference.
Okay. Who was your number
You have-
9?
Tennessee.
Who did it losing to?
I have them losing to the 3 games we just talked about, NC State, Bama, Georgia. I also have them losing to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah, then I have a question. You had Auburn with 3 losses in the SEC. Does that mean you have them losing to Cal?
Let me pull up Auburn again.
I'd
Yeah, you
say
have them at
that
8
would
and
be
4.
wild.
And they have 3 losses in the SEC, and their really only hard out of conference game is Cal.
He might have pulled.
I fucked it up.
He might have fucked up like I did Tamio.
Yeah, I fucked it up.
He wants me to be 8 and 4 so bad, but they're 9 and 3.
Yeah, so I'm gonna change it. They're not 8. They are 8 and 4, and they are
4 and 4 because they lost Texas
Yeah.
A&M. That's pretty sad.
4 and 4 with losses to Georgia, Mizzou, Texas A&M, Bama.
All right.
But if
So
we
we
want to
can-
slide a Cal
can-
loss in there,
So we're
I
all
think Cal
agreeing.
might get the revenge. So I'm not against that.
I honestly think Auburn beats Cal by 20 points. Like, it's going to be so
you
bad.
probably said the same exact thing last year.
First off, that's going to Cal. Their best players on our team
Just saying,
besides
we
Jaden Ott.
probably had this exact conversation that Auburn's probably going to beat Cal by 20 points. In fact, you probably convinced
We
me to take the
definitely did.
spread of that game.
No, I definitely did. I definitely did. But I'm just telling you, there's a big difference. There's no way they'll be able to keep it home, like keep it close. They're used to playing in front of 5,000 people. So
I don't know. New Mexico State did it.
first
You never know.
off, that is a big difference of a trap game. Auburn, you don't think Auburn has this circle as well? Going, yeah, we really embarrassed ourselves last year in this game. So, yeah, I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that they even come close to beating Auburn in that game. But based on what we have, everyone agrees that Auburn's starting off 5-0. And
I'm 50-50 on that Cal game. I'm going to be honest with you, dog.
you're worried about Cal, not
That's
Oklahoma.
what
Yeah,
you're worried
I'm
about.
very 50-50 on Cal.
You know how he's doing that, Josh? It's because it's an ACC team now. That's why he's saying that, Josh.
Nah, I,
Oh,
couldn't
they are
even-
in the
I don't
ACC.
recognize Cal as an ACC team.
So
I
anyway,
think honestly, if Auburn had a pair of nuts, they should schedule New Mexico State in the next year or two.
well, we have their
Just to let
sister
them know who that
program,
is.
New Mexico. We said we're about to take out our
Oh.
hate on you.
You're gonna take
Yeah.
out their brother.
Yeah,
Take
this
out their
is for New
brother, or
Mexico
they're just going
State.
to go 0-2 against the state of New Mexico.
Okay, we just need to hope Miami doesn't go 6-6. So let's go. Anyway, so
Recap: LSU
Yeah.
6, TAMU 7, Auburn 8, Tennessee 9, Oklahoma 10, and the drop off being actually I guess I'd have to flip Tennessee and Auburn now, but so Auburn 9.
okay, so one difference than me, one extra loss. It's totally possible. I mean, 8-4, I think is a great season for Auburn this year, going in the right direction. So, but 9-3 would be setting the world on fire, top 3 recruiting class. But, let's continue.
You want to lead off my bottom of the barrel?
Go ahead. Rip off 11 through 16.
So 11, Florida 4-8 overall, 2-6 in the conference.
Holy shit! Hold on. Pause. Pause. Your fucking highest. Your 11 has 4 wins.
Yeah,
How
It
bad do
gets
you think
pretty
these
fucking-
teams are going to be?
brother. I'm telling you, the collapse happens quickly in my ranking.
I don't have a team that has less than 3 losses.
You don't have a team that has less than or what?
I don't have a team that has less than 3 wins. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same. Overall or conference?
Overall.
Yeah, same.
Oh, since like conference, I have a lot left.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be impossible for everyone to have 3 wins in the conference. But okay, continue. That was wild. The 11 team has.
4 wins. And it's
Hold on. Have you talked about Kentucky yet?
No, he hasn't.
Can I get there?
Holy shit, that's
Oh
dumb.
my god.
Somebody,
Kentucky.
I'm soundbiting this right now. I'm
I have
gonna record
Kentucky
it.
at 5-7, 2-6 in the
God.
conference, losing to Florida.
Oh,
Well, I do think they lose to Florida.
I think they have one more win regular season, but it's a non-conference win. So they have the same conference record, but they dropped the ball to Florida.
Okay, let's just do 10, 11, and 12 because there's going to be a lot of arguing here. There's no way.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Just do 11, 12, 13 because I'm not going to remember Mike's crazy takes, and we need to all get our shit on the table right now. So, Mike, 11 is what again?
Florida 4-8,
Holy-
2-6 in the conference. You
That
want to
is
give me
Who
my
is Florida's
predictions?
4 wins? Sanford,
barely.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi
UCF.
State, UCF. I really don't want to give them that win, but yeah, I'll give it to them. And then Kentucky.
they definitely have some kind of. Oh
Do they not have a shit game?
yeah. No, they.
Oh, they
I
don't.
think he played
Yeah.
3 out of conference games. Yeah.
Sanford, Mississippi
play Florida
State,
State at the end, they're
UCF,
not
and
beating them.
Kentucky.
And
It's
honestly,
a fucking possibility, but
Sanford's probably going to score 50 again at Florida.
okay. First off, it's not going to happen.
Well, did it before?
I don't think you realize how bad that Florida team was. But anyway, 11 is Florida at 4-8. Who is 12?
12 is Kentucky, 5-7 on the year, 2-6 in the conference. I have them with losses to Georgia, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, Texas, and Louisville.
13?
13 is Arkansas, 4-8 on the year, 1-7 in the conference. Their wins are against Arkansas Pine Bluff, University of Alabama Birmingham, which honestly don't feel that great about.
That's so stupid.
Mississippi State, and Louisiana Tech.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Very
I can't wait to tell you mine now because that was pretty wild. 11, I have Kentucky at 7-5, 3-5 in the conference. 12, I have Oklahoma 6-6, 2-6 in the conference. Then I have 13. I have Mississippi State 5-7, 1-7 in the conference. So, Josh, what do you have a problem with mine too?
No, just 1-7. Who? Do you have a team winning 0 games in the SEC?
I have 2.
I have 2.
Oh my god.
But
So hold on.
my thing with Kentucky is this is what I have to say. Kentucky 7-5 And that's because I'm locking up a win for them, hands down, against Louisville. Because Louisville has won one game against Kentucky since 2016. So until they can figure it the fuck out, and just so everyone knows, they've won 5 in a row. So until Louisville, and every year, arguably since after COVID, Louisville's had the much better team. So until they can beat them, I cannot give them a win there. And I know we talked about that in the ACC special. So you had them at 5-7. That immediately gets them to 6-6. Difference. 7-5, and then Kentucky steals a win somewhere. I don't think.
Where?
Well, I can pull it up if we need their schedule.
Or might as well put your take in.
Okay. He's trying to call me out. I see how it is. I'll pull it up right now. Kentucky. Okay. They win Southern Miss. They beat South Carolina. They lose to Georgia. They beat Ohio. That's 3 wins already. Lose to Ole Miss. They beat Vanderbilt. That's 4. They beat Auburn. That's 5.
Skip Florida.
They lose to Florida. I'm trying to count wins. Auburn, they beat Auburn in my scenario. That's 5. They beat Murray State. That's 6. They beat Louisville. That's 7. That's how they're getting to 7 in mine. Oklahoma, we want to talk about them since I have them 6-6. Does anyone else have them?
I mean, I have them at 6-6 as well.
Okay, then we're on board
Just
here.
2-6 on the conference.
Okay. Mississippi State, I think, is a little better than people think, and that's why I have them 5 wins. I really trust Jeff Lebby to be a good offensive coordinator, that he will scheme shit together to win games. I mean, he was just at Ole Miss running a high-powered offense. So I don't care what kind of players he has. He can win one SEC game. I mean, for fuck's sake, they play Vanderbilt, don't they?
No.
Who do they play?
Arkansas is going to be their
Well,
worst team.
yeah, they're going to beat Arkansas. That's who I have, because I have Arkansas.
That's the only one they
pretty
could
far down.
possibly beat. I mean, maybe Florida, but you know.
All right, Josh, go ahead.
I have Kentucky exactly the same as you, 7-5, 3-5 in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I have the goggle-wearing South Carolina at 6-6. That's my favorite, one of my favorite teams to watch right now. And I have Woo Pig Suey at 5-7.
Whoa.
Still
2-6
no
in the
Florida.
conference.
Whoa.
No.
I respect that.
Whoa.
Josh. I fuck with that. heavy.
Suey.
Whoa.
I love your list, Josh.
Dude.
I just want to say I
Hold
absolutely respect you as a
the
man and a
Thank you.
scholar.
fuck on.
You watch
Thank
your
you.
goddamn mouth. This
Pull
man's
up
a fucking
Arkansas.
scholar.
Do you know who Arkansas is?
Pull up Arkansas. I have, say, significant more amount of losses than you do.
So what does Josh have them at?
5-7.
I have them at 4-8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lower than that.
Yeah. So listen, they're going to win game 1 against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah.
They're going to beat UAB.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
They're going to beat
You
Mississippi.
skipped a game.
He's just going over the wins.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
Okay.
doing the wins.
UAB,
Yeah, those 2
Pine
wins.
Bluff. They beat who else?
And they're going to beat Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
They're going to beat Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're going to take down last game of the year.
No,
Is
get
there-
you lost me.
Josh. Josh.
At Mizzou?
Listen,
Josh.
Listen.
They're not going to have a head coach.
Missouri at Mizzou. It doesn't matter. They don't need a head coach. Okay? Florida almost beat Missouri at Missouri last year. I don't think Missouri has a crazy environment that makes it like
No,
a
they
crazy
don't.
home game.
But it's just
Florida put up like 40 there last year.
that Florida
And their
is a
quarterback was
significant
hurt.
better football team than
Where was
Arkansas.
Mizzou at on your rankings?
They're at the top. They're at the
I
top.
know they're in the
Two
top
losses.
5. Would
Mhm.
you have them with 2 losses and one of them being to fucking Arkansas?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I don't know why you disrespect Arkansas like that, man.
Dude,
It's a
they're
great
bad.
team. You clearly haven't played them in the new college football game.
Here we go.
Great team. Great team. I rebuilt them. Great quarterback.
Okay.
They're going 5-7.
So say 11, 12, 13 again.
That's Kentucky 7-5, South Carolina 6-6, and Arkansas 5-7.
I share Kentucky, but they're my 12th, and I have them with 2 more losses.
That's insane. I'll go first this time. Or Josh, you go first. Keep
right,
it
we'll
it
just go
rolling.
down the
14,
list.
15, 18. Or 4, I
We're
can't
gonna
even
have
count.
Florida.
Words are
14,
hard.
15, 16.
Yeah, we got Florida
Teach me
5-7.
good football.
They're
enough
gonna.
fingers to
I don't
count
know
on.
what games they're gonna win for Florida, but they're gonna win somehow.
How many?
5 and
I have-
7.
Yep, 5-7.
Respectful.
Mississippi State at 4-8, with one win in the conference,
Mm.
and then I have everybody's favorite person, Vanderbilt, at 3-9,
Mhm.
one win in the conference.
Mm.
I don't know who they're beating. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay. I'll go ahead
I
and
haven't
say
looked at the
mine before
schedule.
I argue anything you have. 14 as South Carolina, 4-8, 1-7 in the conference.
Beautiful.
15, I have Vandy, 4-8, 0-8 in the conference. 16, I have Arkansas, 3-9, 0-8 in the conference. That's possible. Mike's trying to figure out right now. Trust me, I looked it up.
You have Vanderbilt beating Virginia Tech.
3-9.
You
Yes.
said Vanderbilt's 4-8.
No, I said
Virginia
yes, 4-8.
Tech's ranked.
Yes, I know.
You have Vanderbilt.
I talked about
week one beating Virginia
I
Tech.
talked about this
Brother,
on
hang
the
up the
ACC
phone.
podcast.
Go to bed.
Listen,
Go to bed. You're
Listen.
drunk.
That's crazy.
Vanderbilt always plays a really good game week one.
They played Hawaii last year.
Twice.
They lost to Hawaii.
And hold on.
You know how much fucking
Hold
money you
on.
had me lose on that game because
They-
of fucking Hawaii?
Hold on. They fucking blew it. They were up by 20 points. Okay? So listen, they're not going to have to worry about that because they're not going to be up by 20 points. And they are going to go in there to Virginia Tech and they're going to steal the win. And then they're going to lose a
Vanderbilt.
fuck ton of games after that. But that's going to give Vandy that hope. Josh, do you remember that year when they had like that fag offensive lineman? Not Sam, not Will Sam, Stonever, whatever the fuck his name
He was
is.
a D lineman. Michael Sam.
I know. I'm not talking about him. About the offensive lineman that looked in the camera and said,
Oh yeah, I remember this.
he goes, "We're 3-0,
When they were
baby.
going to play
This is
Alabama."
this is how the Vandy boys do it.
Talking about Bama's next.
We want Bama. Bama's
Yeah,
next."
they lost
And then they
by,
proceed to
like,
lose
60.
55
Yeah, then he
to
goes
0.
to Jalen Hurts. He's like, well, I mean, theoretically, we are next.
Yes, 55 to 0. That is what I envision this season going like because Vandy is going in the right direction. But they're going to beat Virginia Tech.
3-0.
Let me pull up their
Yeah,
schedule.
he absolutely does. He has them
Yeah.
beating
Is that they're out of
Alcorn
conference?
State, Georgia State, Ball State,
Okay.
and Virginia Tech.
Yes.
You're-
Which
Josh, me and
game
you
are
are
they
good.
lo- They're either. Hold on. You have them winning 3 games. That means they're
No,
losing.
yeah,
four.
he has them winning
State-
4.
Oh, 4.
Four.
Okay, I was going to say, which one of those games are they losing?
No, I have 4
Oh, my
wins.
goodness.
Now,
That's-
Arkansas is 3-9. So they're worse than Vandy. And their coach is getting fired instantly. So just get ready for that to come.
Terrible.
I've got Arkansas' schedule up.
Terrible.
They're winning week 1. They're getting fucking
Okay.
smashed week 2. Okay? Personally, it fucking hurt me to give them a win against UAB.
That's
Like,
crazy.
I don't think they beat UAB. So, like, this is a bad football team. They've lost their
the
starting
problem with
quarterback
Arkansas?
and their starting running back. I don't know if they can beat UAB. UAB is a team that personally I wouldn't want to schedule. So, they're one of the better teams in Alabama. Where'd they go last year? What'd they win?
I don't know.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
UAB.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
While he's pulling that up, Josh, I just want to have a conversation, just me and you. I forgive
Okay.
you for having Arkansas beat Mizzou at Mizzou, right? As stupid as it is that you said that, I forgive you.
Thank you.
Me and
I
you
just
are on
love
the same
Arkansas.
side about this, right?
Yeah, there's something about that team, man.
No.
Something about Woo
I'm
Pig
going
State.
back to Vanderbilt. I'm
What?
going back to Vanderbilt.
Fuck,
And
this
what
is
Nick
way
said.
too
Oh,
Me
yeah,
and you are on the
Vanderbilt,
same.
that one's horrible.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Just
that's
wanna
okay.
make
You're
sure.
going to,
I
hey,
think- well, I-
just get ready. Just get ready, boys.
Private
Hold on.
conversation. Private conversation.
No, I'd like to think if you think Vanderbilt's going to win so bad, you should bet on it because they are.
I was
plus
thinking about-
You should put
425.
$100 on it because you will win a stupid amount of money if
You'd
you're
win
right.
400. You'd win $525 right now.
If I put $10,
down.
it'd be $52.
No,
on
you're
now.
not putting $10.
Yeah,
No, I am putting $10 on them. I think they can
You're
win
not
that game.
confident.
I think Virginia
need
Tech
100.
is not going to be that hyped up to play Vandy.
put 100.
Huh?
Put
They're gonna be
100.
No,
right.
I'm not putting 100. That's stupid.
What do you
Why would I put $100 on a plus 500 underdog? I'm putting $10, but I think they're going to win the game. It's going to be a close game, and I think they win. I don't trust
fucking love
Virginia
the
Tech.
plus 400s. I just put $100 on a plus 1,400 underdog.
That's dumb. I don't throw away money, Mike. Anyway, that's what I have. Vandy's going to win that game.
It's not
Clip it.
burning. We're not cooking.
14. What do you guys got?
I think I'm the only one who hasn't said anything, right?
Josh hasn't said his yet either.
Yeah.
has he?
Josh started
Oh,
off.
that's right. That's
Yeah, I
right.
did. I already did fine.
South Carolina, 4-8, 1-7 conference.
Yep.
Miss State, 4-8, 0-8 in the conference. And Vandy, 3-9, 0-8 in the conference.
I don't know why y'all hate South Carolina so much. They're a great team.
Dude, are you serious? Are you serious?
Great team.
Who the fuck is on
Good-
their team
good-
besides Rocket
Good
Sanders
transfer.
and that
good
good
transfer.
receiver?
They
I'll say
have-
that receiver, but I wouldn't even say he's good.
Yeah.
He's
He's
just
just
a crazy
fast.
athlete.
Have you seen their quarterback?
Josh, don't start talking to me about goggles here. Okay,
Have
just
you seen
because Rodrigo Blankenship was a good kicker doesn't mean every motherfucker that runs out on the field with goggles is going to be good.
I beg to differ.
I haven't seen a bad player with goggles.
Have you
to
watched
be
Mike
honest with you.
play?
I beg to
He
differ.
wore
I think-
goggles.
Great athlete.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Multi-sport athlete, might we say?
Yeah.
You know,
You-
football,
I look at
He was in
wrestler,
the Army as well.
rugby.
I mean, you're just
South Carolina's
beach volleyball, unofficial, semi-pro.
Oh my god, South
Pickleball?
Carolina's fucking quarterback looks like he's
Pickleball?
one step from being a black Bobby Boucher running out
that's
on the
what you
field.
want. Did
You
see
did
how
with the
good he
football?
was?
Yeah, but he plays backer. Not he's got to make decisions,
Josh
Josh.
Shea could play whatever position he fucking
What?
wants.
Linebacker is probably
Agree to disagree. I mean, yeah, but it's not. Oh, can Josh hear me?
No, I think he just hung up.
I think I did. I'm joining. Sorry, Josh. I got so pissed at you. I hung up. You hear me?
Can you hear us again?
yeah. You
Yeah, I
just
hung
had
up.
to leave.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Anyway, yes.
Wow.
So we're close, but, you know, there's some wiggle room. I'm really excited. Josh, are you going to join us for the ACC one next?
Yeah, I could already tell you what's going to happen. Miami's not making the conference championship.
Oh, shit. That makes me excited to
That's
fucking
my
record that next week.
You're not
Lockdown,
invited.
put in there.
No,
I
you were
couldn't tell
definitely
you-
invited because I have been low-key thinking the same. So I don't know yet.
Yeah. I couldn't even
Still no
name
ball.
all the teams in there, but it doesn't matter.
Like, we'll
Fine.
talk about it. We'll talk about it next week. It's
Still no
just
ball.
I'm sure
No,
me and Josh are in the
listen.
same where we think that
I even
they're going to slip up and lose to somebody like Georgia Tech again.
Yeah, I told Mikey that if you want to have a good bet, just put $10 on whatever team Miami's playing if they're really bad. You're probably going to make money at some point. One of those plus 500 teams is going
Are
to
you
beat Miami,
saying that
and you're going to make a
trying
bunch of money.
to March Madness Miami right now? With betting on every underdog?
Every underdog they play, I'm putting just $10 on it, and one of those underdogs is going to win. It's happened almost every single year. It has happened every single year, actually.
But we'll
Leave
talk
my
about
pain
that.
alone.
Mike, I think the problem is just the hype you've been driving towards them the
I've been
last
sad
couple
for
weeks.
too long, Nicholas.
Oh, I get it.
I've been sad
As an Auburn
for
fan.
too long. No,
I don't
you
get it.
don't understand. It's every sport. It's every fucking sport. I need it.
Hey, you need it too much. You need it too much.
Giants
So-
are on the come up.
This is all driving around
Currently
if
the
Cam Ward's a Heisman
Giants.
guy, Josh.
Currently, they're playing the preseason game right now, and you fucking pieces of
Are you
shits are
really?
taking me away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they looked good last year too in the preseason.
I'm not looking to see if we win. I don't give a fuck if we
Yeah,
win
they
a
look-
preseason
they looked
game.
great
I'm looking
week
for like
one.
3 individual players. Josh, you watch
Yeah.
your whore fucking mouth.
Great week one game they had. I think they lost 42-0. I'm pretty sure.
40-0.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there was
Yeah,
like 35 to
something
0 at halftime. I think the Cowboys
was
kind of took the
blowout.
dogs off in the second
Something
half.
like that. They pretty much had like 3 pick sixes because our receivers just kept tipping them fucking
Well, I don't think it
balls.
was receivers. I think it was one person in particular.
Saquon Barkley also
Saquon
did it
Barkley
once.
literally tipped 2 of
Yeah.
them to
Yeah,
the defense.
that's what I was saying.
They were in his chest.
So
Like, you can't even point the finger at the
Well,
quarterback.
I'm not doing that. I'm saying they weren't receivers.
Some people do.
I was saying it was Saquon
I
Barkley.
think Saquon was trying to
Overrated.
sell us all year.
Okay.
yeah, I think
Well, Josh, you got anything else to say before we cut you loose? We appreciate you coming on. You're definitely coming on next week to back me with this ACC. I'm not even trying to shit on Miami, but I think Mike's going to take anything we say to heart. So it might be a little defense we have to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've narrowed it down to a team that Miami's going to lose to. I'd watch out for them Syracuse Orange, Mikey.
I was talking
New
about
head
this.
coach, great kicker.
Good quarterback.
It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a great game. That head coach is from Georgia. He got about 6 Georgia transfers. It's at Syracuse. It's gonna be a great game. Miami could have 2 losses at that point, and they're just gonna get swept.
Oh,
What, Florida and Florida State?
Florida. Who is it?
No, you're gonna win. No, you're gonna beat Florida. You're gonna lose to like Cal or USF, someone like that.
Not even like Louisville?
USF.
No, you're gonna win the big games like you do. You're gonna lose to like a Florida A&M or a Ball State or a
He's
South
just
Florida.
naming
One of
shitty
those
teams.
two.
He is
No, that's on their schedule. I'm looking at it right now. They're losing to one of those 3 games. They're gonna beat
we do play USF.
those big ones. Yep.
He said, "Yep." He was confident. He's like, "Yeah, you're losing that." You see how good they played Bama last year?
Yeah. You better watch out.
Same situation.
Still
Cam
at
Ward, Jalen Milrow. Could they bench him?
Pretty much the same.
I'm kidding.
Yep.
I'm fucking with you, Mike. I don't
And
think
then
it's that bad.
well, the only realistic thing you got to be worried about is for your schedule. Even though it says home games, it's realistically not a home game for the Florida State game because there's going to be nothing.
All right, so we
Okay.
lost Josh.
Okay,
know what
we
happened.
just spent the last 10 minutes talking about Miami in an SEC episode. So let's go ahead and finish the episode.
Connection's weird. I think like the satellites are just roaming.
The microwave just turned on. It cut the Wi-Fi off, but we appreciate you guys listening. We're getting so excited. Football's right around the corner. Mike's literally looks like he's on crack, itching to get up and go in front of the TV to watch the Giants play so he can get disappointed. So until next time, guys, follow us on all the social medias. We're going to post our predictions to the Twitter and to TikTok. You guys let us know what you think. Call us fucking idiots. I mean, I put a flaming hot turd out there of a Virginia Tech loss in week 1. So go ahead and flame me, but we'll see if it happens. Until next time.
You're